they spoke French, like,
Mm.
and only French. In Germany, like, I went and I was talking to people in the gas station, and if they weren't, like, over the age of 55 or 60, they knew English, and they were, like, happy to see me, but everybody in that part of Switzerland, like, near France, fucking, like, "Wow, wow, 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 wow," and, like, pointed at the wall, and I'm like, "Down, left."
Answer. It was 11.
Okay. I'm looking for a specific answer. First off, first question, were you beating off before you could actually, like, bust a nut?
Oh.
Damn, I'm weird, man.
Or
I was just like, I was blowing blanks for like
No,
the first like.
Whoa, no.
I don't have like real life friends. I don't like go hang out with people at their house and shit. I don't.
That doesn't happen very much when you're getting your mid-20s. It just doesn't. People get married, have kids before,
right,
you know,
and
I don't got jobs. It's just you got to really be tight with those people.
I think something I feel is that like if I'm going to, you know, get tight with somebody and like become like a family person, which I want to be.
If you looked up what Russia is saying about what's going on in Ukraine, I mean, if you looked up what's going on with TikTok and you're just on China websites, and then if it's the same thing here, we think that we're just getting like, yeah, obviously all of us realize that the media is just a bunch of, you know, a lot of bullshit.
Fed capitalist advertised. I mean, I think me and her moving in together is going to like lower my rent by 50%, maybe like 60. And
okay, so if you're both able to,
but hers is gonna go up, so she's complaining about it. But she also I listen to all the shit she has to go through with her roommates, and I never had those problems in college, but like girls kind of fucking
girls
suck.
probably suck, dude.
Yeah,
bunch of girls together. Ew.
One girl has like the fucking
they need
laundry
a sausage
room.
in there.
They have the laundry room in one girl's room, so like they have to get permission to basically like use the laundry room.
Oh, and they're probably fighting over bathroom space.
My girlfriend has her own. Everybody has their own bathroom actually, but
they need that.
You have to go through. I think the only big thing is that like they all go to their boyfriend's house, so they all leave trash and they don't do dishes. That's like guys really don't give a fuck. I won't do the dishes.
I can let it go a couple days and it won't fucking give me a fucking, you know.
Oh,
aneurysm.
me and my guys in college would go like months, maybe like a month without doing them because one person made fucking mac and cheese in a fucking bowl. That one, we'll do all of our own dishes. That one bowl is gonna sit in the fucking sink,
right?
Until that dude wants to make fucking mac and cheese.
Be responsible for your own dishes. That's the thing. I mean, once like after living with a girl, it was just like, I gotta do the dishes.
Yeah,
I gotta fucking do the dishes.
That's
I accepted it. I was just, but you know, it's a thankless task, but it needs to be done.
I think it should be a thankful task. I think.
I agree. I think I should be getting a little ribbon every time I completed a successful week of doing the dishes. You know, like give me my dog treat and tell me what a good boy I am. Like you did the fucking dishes instead of like the 1 second you see dishes in there, like oh, I can't make dinner until you fucking do the dishes.
Well, it's like
you're not gonna make dinner. You're not even gonna make dinner.
I'm worried about
McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm worried about the responsibility division and stuff like that.
You have to.
I wanna get a house, and she's already been like, "I'm not shoveling the driveway, and I'm not mowing the lawn." I'm like, "Okay."
Those are, man. I like mowing the lawn personally.
I do too. And
shoveling snow can go fuck itself. But I've been doing it my whole life, so I don't really mind. I do mind it, but if it needs to be done, it will be done. type of thing. I just think that yeah, that that
But I
that
mean, like,
that split that you got to work that dynamic out. It's something that you can't. You can kind of plan for it, but once you're in there, you probably won't. It's a step. You'll find out quick though. At least if you're compatible.
yeah, yeah,
It's basically pressing like a fast forward button on your relationship.
it's like a trial run of marriage.
Right. You get to figure out like waking up next to this person every day. Your problems, their problems are intertwined. There's no separating that. And if you
Yeah,
do, in an unhealthy way, it can be bad. Sometimes you just need to realize that, like, I can't control that, but no, it takes two to fucking tango with that. And it's, no, it's either, I mean, instead of just like, I've thought this before, maybe like, okay, if I didn't do that, maybe if I had just, uh, dated, you know, went on dates with her, she comes over every so often. Like, that's how a typical thing works, right? You
yeah,
know, they're not just moving in with each other right off the bat. You know, that would last longer probably, and it would be fresher. And that, you know, that phase that you go through, honeymoon phase, lasts longer. But then when you move in with someone, it's like really fast forwarding through a fucking or putting on something on 2 times speed when you're
yeah.
watching something, and you're like, you got to really fucking love the person at the end of the day if you're gonna fucking do that. You can put up with it and not really truly love the fucking, but it's gonna end up down the shitter. Uh, but hey, 50% rent, cost of expenses down. There's that side to look at it. But you can't just be doing it for financial reasons.
No, and I don't think we are. And we've, I mean, kind of lived with each other for a little bit, but there's been relationship issues that have put more responsibility kind of on me in some aspects, and I
What
try my best.
what do you mean by that?
Like,
Responsibility on you in some aspects. What are these responsibilities? What do you feel like pressured on you?
like I wasn't super good at being husband material before meeting this girl, and she kind of taught me like, getting flowers and doing the small stuff is like what you should do. And
Oh, she's oh, that's so cute,
I've
dude.
I've I've gotten a lot better at doing stuff like
Well,
that.
good for you, dude. Um, because I would get flowers every couple weeks. That was just something I did. I also, when I got the flowers, came back into the car and I put something in the back seat and I shut the door and she said, "Can you stop slamming the fucking door?" I'm like, "I just bought you these nice flowers." And then she tells me, "I'm gonna get out of the car. I'll walk home." I'm like, I just went in there, bought you some flowers, shut the door, and now you want to walk home. Then there was other times where I'd bring home the flowers. He was like, "Oh, I love you so," and they love that. But that's just something like you gotta have that soft nature to yourself. Something that girls like when they're in the right mindset should be clinging to that shit.
Yeah,
That's a really nice thing to do that means a lot to them, especially if you picking out their favorite color flowers, their favorite type of flowers. They need that shit, you know.
in my circumstance, the problem was that I was doing those things. I was doing the extra things that they liked. Um, we broke up for a little bit and we got back together, and she was helping me do my laundry one day and had found like other girls' stuff in my laundry, which isn't good.
No,
And
you're
she said
nasty, man. Nasty.
she said, "If I find anything else,
We're
like, I'm
done.
gonna leave." Yeah, we're done. And then last night, I go to study for my fucking big exam that I had today, and she was like, looking for her vape under my couch, I guess, for some reason, and then
Looking for
found
some panties, brother.
she found someone's shirt, someone's top, and
Okay,
I was like,
I mean, dude, are you gonna let's be real here, talking mano mano. Are you gonna actually commit to this woman, and can you actually not?
yes, and after the first time she told me that, I did go through and I cleaned out my entire closet, found everything on the floor that was a mess, went through my truck, took out, like, hair clips and shit I knew weren't hers. Like, I tried hard to remedy this problem. I didn't look under my couch. Shoulda looked under my couch. There was some fucking lime green fucking top under my couch from a girl, and
Okay, that's great that you're good at, like, you want to cover up your mess. I'm talking about, are you gonna continue making the mess happen? So you did this while you were split up, correct?
yeah, I'm not gonna there's no more messes that are gonna happen, but I she told me I didn't care enough about losing her. I didn't love her enough to care about losing her that I didn't check under that couch.
Well,
And
you
I
gotta
was like,
understand that it probably
I
does.
think actually I'm just fucking stupid, and I thought everything was great because I checked every place I could think
She
of,
isn't
and I
gonna like
didn't think of
buy
that
that.
couch.
You say like, "Oh, I checked everything. I literally tried to get rid of everything out of here, and it was just this one spot." What do you think she's gonna be like? I mean,
I know what she was gonna be like because she
she's gonna
was
be
like that
like,
last night.
"Fuck you,"
Yeah.
like, asshole. I don't care that you removed 19 out of the 20 pieces of evidence. I don't want to see that shit. And how do I know that you actually did that? How do I know you really cleaned anything up?
And she was bringing up, "How do I know that that shirt isn't from fucking 2 days ago when we didn't hang out?" And I was like, "Okay,
Sounds
it's
like you
not."
don't trust me. No, you definitely that just happens, and you're talking about moving in.
I mean, that won't be a problem if we move in.
True, you would hope. Still,
I
not a 0% chance that it can't be a problem. You,
I know that there like, since me and her getting back together, I have gone out of my way to not let little shit
bother you?
bother me,
Yeah.
and most, like, arguments we get in, I fucking lose my backbone in, and I'm like, "Whatever." Not whatever, I'm sincere about it, but, like, okay,
How often are you getting into these arguments, and is it over? What's it?
often,
What are these
a lot.
arguments? What are these arguments over? Petty shit.
Um, yeah,
A lot of petty shit going on there. Like arguments that. Give me an example. Is it?
um, one of the not so much arguments, and this is swayed towards my side, but me and her started talking, like, right after Christmas before New Year's, and I left my parents' house and came to her parents' house because her parents were gone for the weekend. She was staying there to take care of the dog, so, I mean, her parents knew I was there, but, we stayed there, we basically, like, reconciled the relationship, we were ready to get back into it, and we came back on, like, 2 days before New Year's or the day before New Year's, and, I go or it's Sunday, I think, I don't know. It was, like, during the week. I knew New Year's was gonna be like, January 1st was gonna be during the weekday. Um, we didn't hang out on New Year's Eve,
Okay.
and which was a big thing last year.
That's a big.
Bec
Can't be missing New Year's Eve with the girl.
uh, we were doing the same thing basically last year, and she slept in the bed of another guy or with another guy.
Oh,
She said she didn't sleep with him,
well,
but
fuck
she slept in
that.
the same bed as him. This year okay, this is interesting. So, this year, she was doing stuff with her friends. She's at her house, people come over. I was just hanging out because I have work the next day. I'm not trying to be fucked up. I don't really care about New Year's. And,
You weren't fucking someone.
no, I wasn't. I was legitimately laying in bed watching YouTube and then went to sleep. She told me, she was like, "Oh, we're going to a bar." Her and her friends go to a bar. They go to a different bar. Something happens, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't respond for a while, whatever. And I'm like, "All right, I'm just gonna go to bed." And, um, that was back in January, like 2 weeks ago. We are hanging out with one of her friends that I've hung out with before, kinda, like, reintroducing me to her friend group. We're hanging out again, and her friend brings up, like, something about New Year's and who they were all hanging out with, and she made it clear that, like, there were more than just, like, one there was more than just one guy there, like, there was more than
Right.
just Cam there, and, Cam and Cam's friends, and I was like, "Okay, you didn't tell me about
Cam's
you."
friends.
That girl drops us off, me and her are laying in bed, and I'm upset, and she, like, asked me about it, and I was like, "Okay." Lauren said something about Cam and Cam's friends, and, I was like, "Who are Cam's friends?" And my girlfriend said, "Oh, it's, like, Cam and his 2 married friends, like, they're both married, blah, 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 or they're both engaged." Um, then that's on, like, Friday. On Sunday or Saturday, we're hanging out again. We hang out with a different friend of hers that I don't know, like, from before, and this new friend, like, upon the first 2 minutes of like, hanging out with her, she brings up, "Oh, yeah, like, Austin on New Year's," and I was like, "Austin on New Year's?" Austin is, like, a kid that I know things have happened slash, like, almost happened, but I know now that they've happened between he was my old roommate in the fraternity, and my
Oh,
girlfriend knows him, and there's been a lot of drama between us because that was my friend, and now it's her friend, and he's, like, taken a side.
interesting. He doesn't take the bro side?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Not take the
Uh,
bro side?
no, and then he fucked my ex-girlfriend twice, and, this same
Oh,
kid
yeah. He's fucking an
this
ass.
this same kid has cried in my arms, because I started asking him, like this was before I knew about him fucking my ex-girlfriend, but, I went up to him one time at a bar, and I was like, "Yo, man, like, can I fuck blah, blah, blah?" One of his ex-girlfriends,
Mhm.
and he was like started crying, got in my arms. He was like, "Dude, I look up to you so
So
much,
this
like, thank
happened
you for,
before he
like."
went and fucked your ex?
Yes. Uh,
Okay,
before anything had even happened.
time out. So, like, my perspective is if a guy, I don't know, if it would, I would have a hard time. It depends on the circumstance. If it was a girl that I said, fuck it, moved on, done, you want to go for her, sure, dude. I would appreciate it if you asked me, right? Go in, right? At least do that.
I would say yes,
Not most of the
97 per
time.
98, yeah,
If you're
98% of the time, I would say
let's
yes.
say you're in a different relationship already, go for it, dude. Go
Yeah,
for it. Go for it. But if you go and do it and not ask, kind of a dick move.
yeah.
Kind of a dick. At least be upfront with your homie. Like, hey, can I- I'll, and don't do it after a couple of fucking, weeks, whatever. Timing doesn't matter there. Um, yeah, is it a good bro code maybe to just not fuck exes of that are
Yeah,
a part of the family, your friendship family? Probably a good thing to do. It
and,
keeps things healthy. Have
me
I
and him me
done
and him
things like
weren't
that?
close. Me and him weren't close when I was like, "I'm gonna check with him before I do that anyway," which is why, like, the
You
reaction
check, you check,
and
and then this guy cries, and then he's like, "I'm gonna fuck your girl. I'm gonna fuck your girl." He's crying, he's sobbing, he's singing. I'm gonna get this guy back. I'm gonna get this guy. Like, what a sick, twisted thing. So he cries in your arms. Why would he cry when you asked him that?
oh, it was actually I asked him, like, probably, like, February or, like, late January, and he did try to hook up with my ex-girlfriend, which I don't believe anymore. I did then, but they tried to hook up or were going to hook up, and then she stopped him or something.
Do you think they actually got together?
I don't know. I might just, like, fuck up my day tomorrow and just ask him. I'll just be like, "Yo, I'm trying to reconcile this relationship with Sophia. I wanna reconcile it with you. I don't want I wanna be knowledgeable about what has happened. If I'm left in the dark and I figure out about shit that I asked about, I'm gonna feel hurt.
Mhm.
Please just tell me the truth because I know what she said, which is they hooked up once and then they were gonna hook up again, but she stopped it. So if I ask him and he's like, "Yeah, we've hooked up like 5 times,"
Oh,
then
yeah, you don't know if he's gonna do that just to hurt you, or
I don't
it's hard to
I
say based
I don't
on
think he would lie about it to hurt me because I would turn around and screenshot it and send it to my
well, you shouldn't theoretically, you shouldn't have any reason to lie about it, and you should
no.
just be up and 5 times, then okay,
Plus,
be it.
like, she is still in group chats with him, like, they're talking in the same stuff. Meanwhile, I can't follow girls on Instagram, I can't
Right.
even
Isn't
I
that a
can't
weird
have
thing?
any connection. Yeah, it's
You
not great.
you can be best friends with your ex on Snapchat and say you're just friends, like the girl can, and then meanwhile you know you fucking say hi to a fucking clerk working at the register. Oh yeah, fucking looking at her ass. That's an extreme side, but like right, you can't add another person on Snapchat. Meanwhile, this person is still talking to an ex that is they say that is just a friend, and it's like okay,
In the
I'll try to adjust to that.
in the argument me and her got in last night with her finding the piece of clothing, um, she was like, "What am I supposed to think when you're following 2 girls on Instagram when your phone dies one night?" And
Looking at some ass.
no, legitimately, my phone died that night,
Why is she
and
stalking you like this when she's? You both are cheaters, right? Is that? Can we clarify this?
yeah, yeah.
Can, this is your any last. Let's be honest, dude. I don't
It
want to
is.
paint her in just such a bad light. I don't. I'm willing to
It
let you talk
yes,
all the
yes,
shit you want, but I do want to
both of
get
us
to
are.
you.
Both of us are. I know from the scale that I am aware of, I am worse than her, but that's just from the hard facts. I mean, like, I am the person running my body. I know what I've done. I've done things she is obviously fully capable of lying to me. I don't know if I got through this part, but that girl on Friday brought up that she hung out with Cam and his friends on New Year's, and I asked her about it that night, and she was like, "No, it was just Cam and her friends." And then the day later, like, I made a big deal about it. I was like, "Who are Cam's friends that you're hanging out with? Because you just told
Right.
me it was Cam." And she was like, "Oh, it was like Cam's married friends." And then I figure out it's this kid the next day. She's like, "Oh, yeah, like when Austin was here on New Year's." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, like, that's who she was lying about with Cam's friends.
Like, look.
And her excuse was like, "Oh, he was only here for like 20 minutes and we didn't talk to each other." I'm like, "You guys have fucked and you are in the same group chat still, and you guys didn't talk to each other?"
Bullfuck. Bullfuck.
Yeah.
I mean, as men, like, I just feel like genuinely you have to be skeptical. I remember he was telling me about these guys that she was just friends with, right? Some guy was coming on a date, with some other girl and wanted to like stop by in town, um, and just visit and sleep. Like he wanted to sleep over at the house where me and her were at, and apparently he was just going there for a date, and it was a long drive back. He comes over with 3 or 4 bottles of alcohol, liquor, and while I was napping, he took her to the market, and they got a bunch of shit. And then I come out and introduce myself and just try and be cool with this dude. But I'm just, on edge with this guy. He's 26, my age. Like, didn't know where the fuck Michigan was. Like, where's that at? Oh, fuck, dude. Seemed like a nice guy, and then he gets drunk, real drunk. He ended up getting sick. Um, couldn't handle his fucking liquor at all. And he ends up saying all this shit about how, like, I tried fucking her before and she denied me. And he's saying that to me while I was drinking a good lot more than usual because it's just a bunch of liquor sitting there. I was the one that came out and I was like, those bottles right there, they haven't been drinking out of yet. Can we do something about this? Fucking. So I get drunk with this guy. He seemed like a cool dude, and then he ends up telling me he tried to fuck her. I'm like, dude, the screen even did a thumbs down, and I didn't even do a thumbs down. I just looked at the fucking phone, and it just. Point is, like, you tell me that, I want. I'm not cool with this. You just. I'm glad he fucking told me the truth. Apparently, she denied him, but it's like, what would happen if I wasn't here? Because clearly nothing's going to happen while I'm here. You kept saying, oh, I hope he doesn't beat my ass. I hope this guy doesn't beat my ass. Unless, like,
Clearly, I don't know if you can say clearly nothing would happen.
what is that?
She's gone for hours, multiple hours,
No, she was
like a
gone.
long time.
No, it wasn't that long. You never know what happens in that amount of time.
Exactly, you don't know what happens.
No,
A kiss takes half a second, not even,
true,
which is
true.
something
So,
that jeopardizes.
and then there was another skinny fellow that came over that liked to smoke weed. I was cool with him. He was wearing butterfly pants. So I was like, oh, this guy's a fucking
He's a fag.
faggot.
Yeah.
I was not going to say
Giant
it, but
fag.
hey, we're recording. Faggot is still a word, people. And he was, yeah, he was a bit of a fag. He was a nice fag. You know, he wasn't bad. He was a cool dude. He was into conspiracies and wanted to smoke weed, and I just talked to him the whole time. I was like, I'm not worried about you, butterfly boy. You know. So he was fine, but this other dude that came over, he fucking put on a wife beater. Like he had a wife beater on, and he like was just wearing the wife beater. I was so drunk, I just go over into the closet and I grab a fucking wife beater and I go. I'm just like, dude, you're not about to do this to me right now. I'm the real wife beater on these parts.
Bitch, get in here!
Let me show you how it's done.
Where the fuck is my sandwich?
No, but the whole thing was just it made me uncomfortable. The fact that she was talking to these, like, I wouldn't be I even reversed it. I was like, what if I said that I had some friend that I've known for a little while or that I've dated before, and I want him to come over and hang out,
Yeah, I mean, that's
right? And let's just say these guys weren't. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating myself, but I could tell that, like, at least I had an edge on them. They were they were not threatening.
you probably know. If he shows up in a wife beater,
He didn't show up in it. He took it off after he took off his shirt, and then he was like in a wife beater, getting drunk, telling me how he wanted to fuck my girl, and I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
I kind of want to hit you. So the only reason right now I'm not hitting you is because she denied you, supposedly. Okay, bud. I don't know. It's like, can't you have some? That's what I said to her. I was bathing the dog, her dog, right? And I was busy with that, and comes in saying, I'm gonna invite this other guy over that I met in the supermarket next door to where I work. I'm like, why do all your friends have to
why?
have dicks? You
Yeah,
made cupcakes. I'm like, you never make. Why don't you make cupcakes for me? You gonna make cupcakes because this fucking fruitcake is coming over here?
yeah.
So that threw me off. And then once I met him, I was like, okay. But then the other time, I was like, what are we doing here? Why are you? And she's
You know
like,
what?
am I not allowed to have friends? I'm like, yeah, but they don't have to all have dicks.
Yeah,
Is that so wrong?
no, it's not wrong. It's not wrong, but when it's framed in a way without context or you supporting this opinion, like they can be like, my boyfriend doesn't let me be friends with other guys.
Well,
And
here's the
then
thing.
all of a sudden,
I said,
bam, you're
right.
a fucking
So here's what I did. I said yes to both. I was like, fine, cool. Hung out with them. You know, my goal was to make friends with them. You know, as long as they're sitting either on the other couch next to me, I'm talking to them. You know, uh, I just wanted to make that clear. So I was willing to let the situations happen. I was like, okay, maybe I'll let you. I'll loosen the leash. Supposed physical leash there of like, okay, I'll let you do this. Let's see, test it. I'm not trying to compare him to your partner to a pet, but I'm saying like some people will really try and hold back on letting situations like that happen because you could be that type of guy that's just like, I don't fuck with this. I don't want some dude coming over here. I ain't having no part of it. What is this man doing? But what you find is a lot of women are actually like that.
Yeah, women respond to that.
So that's why I was saying,
You should cut the. I think
if I
honestly,
were,
but you should cut this small section out of the podcast, and I'll speak to you freely.
yes, we're in overtime anyhow. So anything out here. Good.
You,
I,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can pause it recording this. Why are you saying no,
It
dude?
it, it shouldn't. Don't.
It's your any last words, dude. Okay,
It would make me feel very comfortable personally if I can talk to my friend without concern of other people.
there's no one here.
This is me. I
This is your any last. This is why I made the.
I know,
He hates
and
women. He's just afraid to say that he doesn't like women. Like being controlled is what his opinion would be.
women don't like being in control, and that's a fetish I've seen with a lot of girls is that they want people to take severe charge to a point of like a role play scenario of they don't have any choice in the
Yeah,
action.
like I'm fully
So like,
restricted right now.
yeah, it's like,
Handcuffed. They
oh,
want to
you're
be
telling me,
handcuffed.
oh, you're telling me exactly what to do and what I have to do for you. And it's like, uh, personally, I like aggressive girl. I like girls that,
Know what they want.
yeah,
Stand for
want
what
to
they
come to
want.
me and act in a way that shows me that they want that thing because
Yeah.
I was raised in a way that, like, you don't push yourself onto people. It's fucking gross, that's disgusting, you don't do that. I've never done that. I've never pushed myself onto somebody
Right.
in a way to advance something I wanted that they didn't want. I've seriously I mean, like,
Oh,
feminists might say this is not true, but, like, seriously, I've never in my life.
okay, so what they would say is the cheating aspect. But I don't think you've. Listen, I think a lot of men are guilty, at least to some extent, of just wanting to advance themselves in this situation, take advantage of it for sexual purposes.
Right, and I'm not saying, uh
So you're not free
if my
of guilt,
girlfriend ever sees
but
this, I will have to off myself, and Buddha's in my death note, but,
I'm in his
um,
death note, guys. I'll be showing up to the funeral. I'll fucking post a video on it.
I've never cheated on a girl, and the girl that I was cheating with didn't know about my girlfriend already. Like, I've never just, like, done something super sneaky where I'm like, "Oh, this girl has no clue I have an actual girlfriend." Like, they know I have a girlfriend, they just want to do this, and they will keep the secret with me or whatever.
So you're trying to justify your cheating right now because that person will keep a secret?
No, I'm trying to put a definition to what I've done
Okay.
because you were saying more so that I'm I'm convincing girls that nothing's happening and that
I didn't
I
say
am
that all the time,
no,
just to be
no, no, no,
clear.
no, no, no.
I'm just saying a
But
majority of
I'm saying
guys do that.
there was never a moment where there was a girl who wasn't informed about the poor decision taking place. You know what I'm saying?
So you're like, yeah, so even though if you did sleep with someone else, right, you wouldn't just hold it back, right? You would be open and honest and
No, I was always public about my relationship with
like, hey,
a girlfriend at the time.
yeah,
So if cheating ever happened, it was because the girl came on to me, which doesn't put me at any less fault.
you got to take responsibility
I am
for
fully
that.
responsible for what happens with any girl that comes on to me, but the girl isn't innocent in the situation,
No, but it's not just
is not any more
the
innocent in the
relationship.
situation than I
The
am.
relationship is about you and this other person. It should not be about this third person. That has nothing to do about whether or not she's guilty or not. Okay, what it has to deal with is what you did, how you responded, how you react, or what she did, and how.
All right,
The third person doesn't matter so much. Like, you can
I
put
just wanna
blame
I
on
just
them,
wanna
but
I just wanna make sure I wanna make sure it's stated that a manipulation by me was not taking place to have that happen.
so okay, so put this
A
in.
manipulation of a third party was not taking place.
All right, so put this into good
They were
context.
knowledgeable of the situation when
You
they
were
did it,
put in
and
positions.
it doesn't validate me anymore. I'm still a piece of shit for cheating on somebody. I know that.
Okay, so you own up to those mistakes, and you were put in
Yeah.
position where you were vulnerable. Where if someone's coming on, I mean that is something you have to own up to. You were in a vulnerable state right there. It's not justifying it. It's just being clear that like you weren't actively going out and trying to, based on your word, you're not trying to. So you see this other girl over here, like my girl. Oh, no,
Yeah.
drunk. I'm drunk.
The
I'm gonna
there
go
was
talk to her. I'm
there
gonna go.
was there was never malicious intent in what I did. Never malicious intent towards another person,
Yeah.
ever. It was
I'm.
never like, I have to get back at somebody, which is
Well, why did you
tell you
do it though?
it was validation for me.
So it was a selfish thing, right? It all
Oh,
comes back
100%.
to
It
what
has
you wanted.
al always has ever been a selfish thing, but the first time that me and this girlfriend had broken up, I and being too honest right now, I pray to God she never sees this. I cheated on her fully. People tried to stop me. They saw me about to do the
Right.
act,
You're
like
about to
about to,
commit.
yeah, I'm about to commit. Yeah. And they were like, that's not a good idea. Like, one, you're drunk, don't drive. It's like down the block, but like that doesn't matter. You're making a poor decision about what you're doing. And I was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I did it. The next morning, I was overwhelmed with myself and I couldn't handle that I did that against this person. So I came up with an alternative reason. It's not like a
Don't
a
don't
fake. It's not a fake
don't
reason why I didn't want
justify
to do
it.
that. No, no, no. I'm saying I didn't tell them the truth about why we were breaking up, but I told them something I was unhappy with as the reason.
Stop you right there. You expect that out of another person when you can't even do that for them?
It, the thing is, they have still never known about the full
I
truth.
don't care. I
That's
want
fine.
you would want to know, dude.
I know.
You
Hear
would
me
want
out.
to know. I'll hear you.
Hear, okay, hear me out. Me and her have been off and on back together 5 times, 6 times. And there have been things that she never disclosed to me, like, being with the kid on New Year's or fucking him, or another time that the second time that same year that we broke up the first time, um, we broke up and I begged her. I was like, "Please, like, if we wanna keep the break clean, like, just don't fuck anybody I personally know, like, nobody in my fraternity, preferably." Literally, like, 4 days later, she fucked a kid in my fraternity, stayed at his house, multiple people knew about it, and, like, 2 weeks later, I heard it from another person that wasn't her, and then
Why do you want to be with this person still?
I I love her, I do love
For
her.
what qualities?
We are the same person.
She's a mirror to you?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of humor, in terms of intellect, like, the sense of humor we have, the intellect, I wanna say, you know, m maturity standpoint too, like, I don't feel like either of us are inferior, but
You feel like you're on the same level with this person and equal.
mm,
And that's not the right way
not
to
anymore,
not,
not anymore, probably.
well, who's worse?
No, I will I
Who's worse? Who's worse in this situation?
the thing is that if I was her, if we had traded roles,
Mhm.
right? The roles were different, she committed the actions that I did, which she had caught me, like, talking to a girl from back home twice. I was talking to this girl from back home, and we were having explicit conversations, which I regret fully. I've, like, reconciled with the fact that this girl from back home is not who I care about at all,
Well,
and,
well, sound like you said you weren't manipulating. I'm your guy here, so I'm trying to make you think. Want I'm also just poking at you. You know, I'm on your side, but like, do you think that what you've said is kind of sound like manipulation?
Yeah, I've caught myself
So you
feeling
have,
like
yeah.
I'm the bad person in this relationship for sure.
Okay. I mean,
Why would I?
that's all I
Because
want to
why would I?
hear is
Because why would I do something that directly reflects that I don't want to be with her to only come back to her so many times?
because you know
I've
you're
even
guilty too.
I've told her to her face that we had a big breakup in like October of 23, like a big blowout. She like smashed pictures of us in front of my apartment and stuff. But um in that one I told her that uh, I do this to her because I know that she'll forgive me. And I don't think that that's a wrong statement.
Not wrong.
To to be fully to be transparent, I when you talk about leagues, like someone's in a higher league
The
than
tree,
you,
yeah, they're higher up on that tree. They got a higher
like
tree.
they're out of your league, right? I think I'm out of her league, and but she also just cares about me so much, and I think that's a lot of the reason why I love her, and
Keep going, dude. What about her? The reason why you love her is the fact that she does provide that attention that you're looking for. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like,
the
she's
security maybe, but, like, she tries so hard or she used to try hard. She doesn't try hard anymore, and now once I've realized the importance of this relationship with this girl that I've been with for, like, 4 years, off and on 4 years, but, like, consecutively almost 4 years, 5 years, um, like, that's what's shown me the importance of it. I didn't get, like, a, "Oh my god, love at first sight" feeling, but, like, realizing that this is someone that I can finally feel comfortable around, and
don't you don't
I
you
do love for who they are,
okay.
except when they're a fucking raging bitch, and, uh,
Is that ever gonna change? Because I ask myself these questions. Like, okay, I like these certain aspects, but then can't you be so like just like how you feel like you're in a different league or whatever, whether that's true, selfish, or just being ego. We're not labeling that. We're just saying that's how you feel like I could probably do better than this. That's always going to be in the back of your mind. That's not going
yeah,
anywhere
right.
unless you accept this person fully for what they are, with their faults. With what they all that said about this. Feel like you're seeing a mirror of yourself, basically. Those are all good things, but if as long as you see this person in that negative light and don't you have to accept them fully. Like, I see their flaws. I'm not fucking being blind to who they are, what they're doing, but I accept them for who they are, positive, negative, and you have to really reconcile with that, or else you're gonna be
I
caught like just sitting there, like getting in these constant arguments. Wonder, I mean, I'm
I
going through
think
the same type of shit where I'm just like, I have all these reasons. You even have more valid reasons to not ever continue it. This is the proven fact of cheating on both sides. You've had multiple outs of bad breakups, and all of a sudden you're just gonna fucking click. If the two people aren't willing to get to the top together, one goes to a different mountain. No, just trying to get to the top, but it's two different areas. You need to go to the same fucking place to try and meet each other in the middle. And
yeah,
if you don't
I
do
think
that, it's not going to result in anything valuable. It's just more time, more energy. And I mean, I'm just trying to like these are my thoughts out loud, but it's just like I'm trying to process that myself because love can be a very, very powerful thing, and it's very hard to not think with emotion in these types of situations when it is a lot of it is based around that core idea of emotion. So for you to have to put that aside and do what's best for you, it's a hard thing to grasp. How do you find this balance between finding that love and doing filling those voids, those needs, like, okay, I'm not alone, this person gets me, like, okay, they're checking these boxes, then you have a whole nother pile couple piles over here of shit that is just like added on to your life. And that's every relationship is not like a fucking is fucking amazing. It's always gonna be that shit pile. How much of that are you gonna fucking take?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've given me advice. I'll just say that like do what your heart is telling you. It sounds like you're going from the heart, but again, also be aware that this is just an emotional decision, and you also have that in the back of your mind that like maybe I can do better than this. Maybe you know, and you need to look at your history. Like if you had a receipt of your relationship, you look at that and say negative.
Buddha, I want to tell you, and I'm straightforward with you. I was honest with you in the past about this, but like I have kept my word about who I'm talking to and the relationships I'm holding. Like I haven't talked to anybody else. I've talked to no girl since
Well, I mean, you've already been pretty
starting this again.
open with me, you know. So I
And
figure,
I
why would you be lying?
the thing is I've sat in this fucking podcast and told you that I was cheating actively. I was like, look at maybe not actively, but I was like, look at this person I'm talking to while I shouldn't have been.
Right?
And
Donated $40.
if I she saw your name over Christmas, or she was like, "Who are you texting over Christmas?" And I said, "Buddha." She was like, "Yeah, I remember stuff you were sending him." And I was like, "Oh, uh,
Okay. Well, you jealous?
my fault."
You jealous?
She's extremely jealous, but um, like the thing is, I haven't done that, and I don't have an urge to do that anymore. But
Okay. Could you do?
one,
Could you? Do you think you could both meet in the middle, and unless it's like absolute context, maybe
the
this
thing
is
is,
an extreme thing, but just opposite sex. If it's someone that you don't need to have added on there.
I'm at the middle, and I've been pushing myself past the middle to come closer to her, and she doesn't see me. Like, her finding the shirt last night deletes all trust that she had with me that I've built
Yeah,
since,
Control Alt
you know.
Delete on that shit, dude.
Yeah, so, like, I'm starting from square one at this point. So me turning around and asking her to, like, "Hey, can you delete the dude that was my
Oh, I
best friend
wouldn't
and I
bring
was
I wouldn't
roommates
bring
with?"
that
And
shit up. But also, you could honestly try and bring that up. You might like that. The fact that don't pin it on her. Like, hey, I just deleted everyone, and you could show her your phone. Open up the apps. Hey, listen, I'm
I got a
sorry about
I
what happened. I
I
screwed
got a
up. But
Buddha, I got a new phone and a new phone number for her. I got
uh,
I, like, started fresh.
yeah.
Not a new iCloud, so I have all the same contacts, but n no girl that I've talked to is in my contacts anymore, because that would be fucking stupid.
Right, dude. But if you like, all you can do is prove yourself with your action. Hope for the same out of her.
I've tried, dude. I've
What have
tried.
you tried? You
I
tried your own actions or hers, or just both?
my own actions, like,
So you're admitting that like it's
I've been
hard.
buying more flowers, I bring them to her,
Oh, okay, those good
I
actions.
I've always asked all the time about her day, but she brought it up one time that I don't ask about her day. I
Because you
think
didn't
one
ask
big
about her day that day.
no, I think one big thing, and I'm gonna be honest, is that I'll I'll do something, and I'll do something so much, and I know I'm dead right in my feelings to say that I provide this for her, and then she'll still hold it against me or bring it up and say, like, "You don't care because you don't do this," and then I'll bring up the reasons, and she doesn't. Like,
Be more
she'll be
specific
like,
in that. Like,
uh she gaslights me. She says I don't do things that I can bring up, and I tell her that I do, and I give her examples of me doing them, and she's like,
eh,
"Alright, well, next point, well, you cheated on me in October of
it all
2023,"
leads back to
and I've
that.
it always leads back to that.
So
It brings back
it doesn't matter how many flowers you bought. As soon as she wants to find something wrong in the relationship, she will, and she will bring it back to June 23rd, 2023.
yeah, October 18th, 2023
Okay.
will come up, and it has came up in the past, like, 5 fights. I can't be mad that she hung out with that one kid on New Year's because
Okay, you're
I don't
even. You're even.
because I don't understand how she felt in October in 2023. Like,
Yeah. No, you're at a point where it's like communication would have to be key, and the fact that you hold no guards on your feelings. Like, okay, truly, she does have some sort of resentment towards you still for that,
yeah, yeah.
and you would both have equal right to feel resentment for each other. Uh, it's about
But
how many.
she makes it known that she feels those feelings about that day or what I've done because I've fucked up, like, not picking up the t-shirt underneath my drawer, or the
Right.
fact that I told her on that Friday night, I was like, "Hey, I didn't like," and this is how I came about it. I was like, "Who are you with on or New Year's?" Because Lauren brought it up, and she was like, "Why do you care about who I'm with? Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Because I care about you. Like I've cared about you on St. Patrick's Day because apparent that's too deep."
No, it's
Um,
not. Keep going. Keep going.
one time we were broken up on St. Patrick's Day. We hadn't talked in a long time. She reached out to me like at 2 a.m. on St. or the morning after St. Patrick's Day. She was like, "Hey, I just need to hear your voice right now." I guess because
Okay.
some dude raped her. I've heard the story from 4 other people, and it didn't sound like that, but I'm gonna take her side in the story, and,
It's a very touchy
um
thing, but I've heard it's
right. I mean, like,
it's
I'm not
as
gonna tell her she's wrong in how she feels.
no, you can't.
That's horrible,
You
but
don't hold the
I've heard the outside perspective, basically, like, the guy's perspective. I've never talked to him,
well,
but,
what
like
guy is gonna be like, yeah, I raped the shit out of her, dude. Like, some guys get off on that. Some guys want to be like, hey, fist bump, bro. We got that train. Like,
but, like, 4 of the 4 girls that were with her were like, "Oh, yeah, we all expected, like, them to do that." Like, she let it on to be like that, so, I don't
she
know.
put herself in
But
a position to do.
I
Very easy to say rape after you're like, oh fuck, I got hammered and these guys
I
enticed me
know,
into it.
I
I
know,
mean,
but
like if we had vaginas, we would be saying rape all the time.
yeah.
You would be saying
Any
that anytime that you've done what you've done. You'd be like, I just got raped.
right, but what I'm saying is anyway, um, the conversation that me and her were having were that, um, like, I do care about who she's hanging out with and what she does because, like, things like that have happened in the past, and she was like, "You're not allowed to have feelings about that. Don't bring it up." And then she cried and had a big fit. And then that conversation about the guy that this guy Austin that she told me she would let me know whenever they hung out because they were in the same friend group. They were going to like trivia days at the bars with their friends, which used to
No,
be my friends too, but not anymore, or not my friends.
that shit.
But like that used to be a thing. I would get to know about it. Last Super Bowl, she stopped responding to me because her phone died. She went back to his house. He charged it. He made her dinner, cooked her dinner, and I was already feeling weird about him. And then I got upset about it and I got shit on for it. So then this New Year's, I wanted to know who she was with. She never told me he was there. Apparently, he was at her house for 20 minutes and um
It rubs me all the wrong way, both of you guys. Just like how you'd be honest with me, both of this. I'm not saying I want you to be on, like, obviously, say what your opinion is, but about what's going on with me, but what's going on with you, it just, I'll be honest, that don't sound like fucking too healthy, but am I going to tell you, no, don't try and make this work? Dude, you're going
I
to
think
go and do whatever the fuck you're going to do. You've already fucking done this several times.
I'm being honest, us being in this predicament is my fault. So I feel like it's my responsibility to, bear more weight to fix it because I do love her. I do want to try for this again. I've been okay bearing more weight
Would you
to
marry
try to
her?
fix this.
Would you
Yes,
marry her?
I would. I 100% would, and I've never been that forward about something like this with anybody.
You need to be forward about it if that's what you really think. There's no point in holding
I
it
mean,
back if it's forward.
no, me and her are very forward about it, but then we get into fights like
Yeah, I love you so much. And then the next thing you know, you fucking bitch.
we get into fights like, "Oh, I'm mad that you didn't tell me about this guy that you were gonna tell me about all the time last time we were together." And I've asked you on New Year's who you were with, and you didn't bring him up, even though he was at your house. And then I asked you on Friday. Meanwhile, it's Saturday night. It's the day after. On Friday night, your friend accidentally brings it up but doesn't say his name, and I ask you about it. I give you open-ended questions to be honest with me and tell me who was at your house. And then you still don't tell me that he came there. You had to have thought about him. I asked it
There's
at
no
11 o'clock at
coincidence.
night.
There's no coincidence, you know?
No, I ask you fully on its own. I asked you who was at your house that night? Who were the people there? And you didn't tell me, and her excuse was that I thought it would cause a fight.
Oh, I would hate to have a fight about something that we need to talk about.
But, like, do you not think that
What do
not
you
telling me
you
and me
want a real
figuring out
fight? Like fucking now we have a
yeah,
fight. Now you fucking booked your fight. You are set. You're on a contract now. You just signed the contract for the next fight because you've decided I want to fight this time.
but I was never allowed to be angry because she held whatever happened on St. Patrick's Day against me. And
I completely
even
can
if I
understand that type of
and even
dynamic.
if I and e even if I was angry and she couldn't hold that against me, she would have held the October 10th me cheating thing against.
No matter what you can do, you always lose.
I always lose.
So unless you guys get together and have a like an actual mature conversation that isn't like a fight, which is hard to do. I wish I could have had more of those. Um, you guys will be in resent mode. You'll be saying like, "I'm doing all this shit for you. I'm not doing anything now, and I'm trying to better myself." Meanwhile, if you still just like anytime you fucking forgot to put the dishwasher tablet in the fucking dishwasher,
I'm
I
gonna bring
can't
up you
believe
cheating on me.
I can't believe you fucking did that in October of 2023. You fucking asshole.
And if she's and it honestly, most of the time when she brings that up, the first thing I think about is, okay, but before we ever broke up, still like the first time we ever got together, you went to Nashville with your friends. We were mad at each other and you got naked in front of some dude in his apartment in Nashville. And she, I swear to God, told me to my face, she got naked in front of this guy in Nashville. She wanted like, a t-shirt or something because it was more comfortable. She was like, and I got naked in front of him because I knew that it would be upsetting to you.
So, okay, what makes you think
Has
she has
has
changed since then? Right?
I
Maybe she
I
still wants to do that game. Maybe she's
I
still
don't
playing it.
I don't think she's changed, but she holds it to me like I'm being honest when I tell you I've cheated only for selfish reasons, and her admitting that is her cheating for like malicious reasons.
Okay, now
Like
you're still trying to walk this fence, dude. You've talked to me about how the women have kind of enticed you into these situations, and that's how you've been put into where you end up cheating. But then it's always ends up being selfish. I mean, so there's no real right here. And so when I just see a bunch of wrongs, it's very hard for me to say like, would I like to see this work out just from a bystander? Yeah, cool. That'd be a nice little story. You end up marrying the girl in a couple years. You have a place together. Right. You work out all this cheating shit. You end up, if you want to start a family, you start a family. And you got through all that shit, get to where you are. I just, I know you're trying to put your best leg forward. I'm trying to do that in my own mind. I was trying to do that. It's just like sometimes you've been in this for years, on and off. I mean, you're quick to tell me like, hey, just put your foot on a fucking brake, slam that shit down. You can stop the vehicle now. Get the
yeah,
fuck out of the car.
turn your eyes forward, stop. Yeah, I have
The
told you that
same
so many
the
times.
same thing can apply to you. Based on what you're telling me. I'm also telling you like, look, dude, when it's that committed and you keep coming back to this woman, you have to figure out the real reasons why you're doing it. Is it, you know, cuz you can go and it's hard. Love is hard. You can be like, "Hey, I could I could go and love someone else, but I love this person for these reasons.
Right, right. If
But
you meet somebody and you hang out with them for a month, that doesn't equivalent to 3 years with somebody you've, grown up with, really. I don't think that it's me. The problem is not me looking back in the past. I'm not the one that starts these arguments over something. Look, her finding the shirt underneath my couch,
I would
it's
start an
valid.
argument with you.
Yeah, I think that's valid, and I've tried to explain to her that that's valid, but it's valid for its own reasons, not because it's no longer valid because of what I did in October of 2023,
Well,
over a year
you
ago.
need to both get to a point where it sounds like you're not on the same page still. Like
Right,
you still aren't on the same page. Like obviously when the cheating happened, weren't on the same page. Now you come back and it's like, okay, we haven't decided that we're gonna be different going forward, or are we still gonna hold that as a fucking grudge to handicap this relationship?
right. Her defense against that is that her being reminded of the cheating causes a physical reaction that makes her
Learn how to deal with your fucking emotions a bit better.
yeah, it makes her dissociate and not feel anything towards me, and it reverts her back to, the day she found stuff on my fucking phone or whatever when she went through it when I was sleeping. It
Oh.
it reverts her back to that feeling, and she's, like, numb to me as a person.
So what are you gonna do? What is? I would ask. What do you want me to do? Do
I
you want to be with me? Can you accept the fact that I fucked up or not? Or are you just gonna keep holding this over my head every time I do something wrong? When I'm trying to do better, when I'm trying to do right, or are we on the same fucking frequency? And I don't think you are right now. And that's something that you have to actually verbally communicate. And she's gonna have all these predetermined things in her head. She's gonna have that ideology,
right.
and she's gonna have her reasons. She's gonna have a good debate, dude. Women are
I don't
good with that.
I don't disagree that, psychological issues aren't like, I can't me saying something and just saying, like, "You don't have to worry about it, babe. I'm different now." Like, that
That
doesn't
does not.
solve
That's
an
not
issue.
enough.
It wouldn't it if I was a girl, I wouldn't fucking solve an issue for me either. Like, I I genuinely I have to make changes, and I have to be genuine about what I say, which I have to say I have been. Besides her
Yeah.
finding she found, like, a sock or, like, she found something one day doing my laundry, and then her finding she found something and got mad at me, and then her finding another piece of clothing last night, like, set her off because she told me, like, "Don't let me find anything else."
Well, hell yeah. Well, you're both. I mean, dude, I hate to.
I fucked up,
And
I know.
you know what? That's
But for the argument that was the argument last night that I didn't care enough to go through and clean up all the other girls' shit, which Imma be honest, and this is I want you to be critical of me. I need a third party. I went through, I cleaned up my entire closet, I cleaned out under my bed, all my bathroom shit, I cleaned my truck, I cleaned everything I could think of, and I missed underneath my couch is where she found this piece of clothing last night. I fucked up. I I agreed to her last night that I fucked up. It's on me that I told you it's all clean, and it's not.
you
But
lied again.
for
You
but
lied
for
again.
her I lied again?
You said I have all the clothing cleaned up. Oh, I'm not cheating on you. Meanwhile,
No,
she finds
it
another shirt.
it would be a lie if I knew that all the
No,
clothing
but I'm
wasn't cleaned
saying
up.
her mindset. I'm not saying you were
Right,
lying
okay,
in that
okay,
act
okay,
of time.
okay.
I'm telling her like her perspective. She's saying,
Right.
"Oh, okay, buddy." So
What's crazy is that initially when she came up and finally we talked last night, she said, "It's like you leave stuff around to remind me that
and
you get other girls." And I
do,
was like, "I
do you?
absolutely don't fucking do that. No. I
There's nothing in the
I
back of your mind that wants to like, fuck, I'm leaving my
I don't
shit.
wanna have these fights with her. I want to have a
Good
a
relationship.
happy yeah, I don't wanna be fucking pissed off and fighting with each other all the time.
Okay.
It d eh I've never wanted to do that. That's never been my
The
fucking
goal
goal.
is to try and put yourself in position where you can minimize that, which I see you're trying to do, but at the same time, right there, it was a fuck up. It was a fuck
Here's the
up.
thing. Here's the thing. She said, if you loved me, if you really did love me, when I told you to clean up the girl shit, you would have checked under the couch. I had full confidence that I cleaned up everything. I simply am a fucking retard, dude. I didn't look under the couch. I've looked under the couch for my own vape before. I don't ever in my life, and I swear to God, I don't ever in my life remember seeing somebody else's piece of clothing, fucking tube top or whatever the fuck it was.
Hmm.
Like, the thing is that I did try. In my mind, I tried to
That's
satisfy what she asked me to do, but, like, what is my excuse? What is my explanation there?
nothing.
I I'm retarded. Right.
Autism does not speak here. Okay. Um,
Not so much autism, but, like, I'm just dumb. I'm a fucking like, I hate to pull the excuse, I'm a dude, but, like,
listen, man,
I
you already fucked up with all that shit. That, in comparison to what you've done before, or what she's done before, that shirt is kind of nothing in comparison. It's something. It's something. There's just two ways to look at it. She's gonna have every right to be fucking pissed and hold that against you. Um, and it's just gonna take action, and it, like, it's very hard. Like, you just want to be like, I fucked up. I know I did. I'm trying my best. And you can mean that with all your heart. It's very hard to. You can't just go in that other person's mind, tune out their perspective, switch it to another perspective,
I
because you
know.
said something, and it's a very hard thing to grasp and deal with. It's like, fuck, I really know I'm fucking up, but I want to be
I am
better.
I know. Yeah. Dude, that's really true, is that you can't walk a mile in someone else's shoes without walking the mile, and, like, she holds it against me that, like, you don't love me as much as I love you because you didn't feel the same way I did when we broke up the first time, and I was like, "Okay, we're" my explanation was that, like, we're different people and we comprehended this relationship differently, which is why I'm coming back and
Why?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Why are we holding perspectives like? Okay, you didn't. She felt that way about the first breakup. You got back together. Okay, if we're gonna move forward, aren't we gonna like? Might be every reason for her to bring that up. Maybe that's just how she felt, dude. She really
I
did
think
feel that.
I think the correct way for us to move forward and actually build a real relationship not held by guilt or, um, you know,
It's just that resentment.
resentment, yes, good point. For us to build something without resentment, she can't bring up
Are we done arguing about it?
October of
Yeah.
2020,
Are we done arguing
like
about it or not? Right? That type of energy.
do you accept me as the person that I'm showing you that I am, or am I no different?
Or
And
have I not been patched since October? Whatever. You know, I haven't had an update on my system. I'm still that same software version. I haven't upgraded or changed as a person. I'm still that
and
fucking person.
the thing is, like, in the past 4, 5, 6 weeks or whatever since New Year's, everything she's brought up and got mad at me, I've had things to say about back. I can't. I literally cannot say anything back. I know for a fact she's like, "Oh, you're talking like, why are you still talking to this girl?" And she's meanwhile in a group chat with the same dude that I've had a problem with for, like, 2 years that she ended up fucking. Like, she'll just bring up me cheating if I have a problem with anything.
Okay, so you guys got back together recently because based on the last conversation we had, you were doing a completely different fucking thing here. Uh,
Yeah.
that wasn't cheating. I knew that you were single, but that wasn't that long ago, my friend. Now you are right back in the cusp of trying to. All right, fucking, I was gonna send $40 to this chick on OnlyFans a month ago, and now I want to move in with this bitch. You got to put that into perspective. Like, it's a big shift. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out like what I'm seeing, and you got to navigate that through your own way. And it sounds like
you're not invalid in what you see. Like I perceive myself as operating at my normal capacity in a relationship. Like I think that
this is what I
I
got.
don't maybe I don't feel like I here's the thing is I don't have like real life friends. I don't like go hang out with people at their house and shit. I don't
That doesn't happen very much when you're
I
getting your mid 20s. This doesn't. People get married, have kids before
right. And
and
I
got
don't
jobs. It's just you got to really be tight with those people.
I think something I feel is that like if I'm going to, get tight with somebody and like become like a family person, which I want to be very bad, is that I have to develop a relationship as if I am doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Practice it.
I mean, practice it, but like, not even so much practice it, but like,
Well,
that's,
if you want to own it, it's you got to start by trying and doing it. You got to like
I have a bunch of friends that are girls that I am around. Like, it's not like I see every girl as an object that I have to date or whatever. That's not true.
no,
That's
they're not
not
all worth
who I
fucking
am.
for you. If they were all tens, you might be like, hey, it's just perspective.
But I've always just been in long-ish term relationships besides
So yeah,
whatever from October last year till like now.
you can't just go like months without you
Well, if I
planning
do go
anything.
a couple months, I haven't dated anybody in since this girlfriend. It
Okay,
was me seeing one person consistently for like a month, 2 months, 2 months max before I realized that they're not the person I can do it with.
okay,
I don't build up a big group of friends and then pick one out after that, and then I still have the friends after. I pick one person, I integrate, I
that's
hang out with
fine.
them, and I realize that they're not the person.
It's just more about the intervals of like actually reflecting on yourself and having that amount of time where you're not dedicating and looking for this expectation from another person and this constant search. And
Yeah.
unless you really reflect on who you are as a person, your relationships will reflect that. Like if you focus on yourself to be the best person you fucking, I haven't yet been able to
Found the person that matches that
grasp
for
that
you.
trophy. However, I'll get to that point. I just need to continue working on my own self.
But how do you find the person that
It won't
does get that?
it won't be something that you're constantly looking for, like that next like fucking achievement. Like you don't need another fucking ribbon on your board there. And it's like
It's
unless you have another ribbon coming in, you're just like fuck. I got 23 ribbons. I need a 24th. Where's the 24th? And
no, it's in my mind, personally, it's more like I am spending this time right now that I am young enough to go out and do stuff, and I have fun ideas, and I can, go places. I have the freedom to do this. I'm spending this, and I'm not spending it with or trying to find the person I want to spend the rest of it with. So, I just find somebody and I try spending it with them. She
okay.
sees that as super wrong,
Well,
and
a lot of women are gonna probably feel like, what, you don't wanna, you're not like I'm not the one you want to marry. Like, no, I literally, it's
no, when
nothing
I
against you. It's just like I literally don't want to put a ring on your finger right now. Is that okay with you? Like,
and the thing is, I've dropped him immediately. When I realized that, I was in fucking Florida. I flew down to Florida this summer. I spent a week with a girl that, on her own, decided that we were dating. I flew her up
yeah, you told me about
for my
this. It
yeah, I flew
sounded
her up, and it was fun. I planned everything. We had a good time. She liked me. We were it was great, and then it was time for her to invite me down, and just because I wasn't man enough and I didn't plan all the shit that we were doing, like,
yeah, you're not a
it
man. Your fucking
yeah,
genitals
it
are cut off at that point. How dare you
it
not plan this?
it somehow ruined it for her, and she was like, "You're absolutely not the man that I want." because you're fucking
Because you won't
yeah, I
want to
guess you're
spend the rest of your life with me right now.
because you won't tell me what to do in my own house and tell me where to eat, and meanwhile, I'm talking to 50-year-old fucking commissioners of the board in Florida, and, they're giving me $1,000 when we wake up, but you still need to spend your salary to buy me lunch. And I'm like, "What?"
Act out situation.
It's like, I've seen the bad.
Yeah. Well,
I've seen
you won't really appreciate and know the good unless you've experienced.
which is why I see this girl that I'm dating right now as the good, and it would be the great if I had just not done everything in the past. If we had just met now and, you know
What ifs? What ifs? What ifs? What ifs? Of course, it's easy to say. I wouldn't. It's it's just a hard thing to deal with. I mean, the good thing is you're at least 1-to-1 and boring. It might be multiple times on both parties, but yeah, let's just say one person cheated the entire time and one person didn't. I would say throw that out, and you could logically think like, shit, mm, maybe this ain't. You know,
I
if you told someone like if someone told you that I cheated on my girl cheated on me, we've been on and off for 3 or 4 years, should we move in together? You'd probably be like, fuck no.
right. Yeah,
You would probably say fuck no.
I would say fuck no, yeah.
You would say fuck no. You would say fuck no, but that's the thing about love.
I'd be
Thing
like
about it.
exactly, like
You would tell anyone like, no, dude, fuck that. You weren't
like,
happy with her if you cheated on her, and she wasn't happy with you if she cheated on you.
you know what I think is something that molded my brain different is that I was 10 years old and I learned about, you know, my parents cheating on each other. I was 18 when I realized, the reciprocal of, like, both of them
Right.
had cheated on each other.
Yeah, we talked about that like January. You were like telling me about how your parents' relationship was, and I kind of like went into how that affects your whole perspective on relationships going forward. That's like your
Yeah,
blueprint for a relationship, and I think that deems true to a lot of scenarios.
I think it absolutely is like a blueprint. And you're gonna that
Yeah,
is like a
that's.
united competitor.
I don't know. I just wanted some insurance to where I could get my fucking teeth cleaned. Something basic things. I'm not going to a fucking hospital anytime soon. I don't think. I don't know if I don't plan on getting in any accidents. If I do, it's nice to have. So basically, my philosophy would be like, okay, if I was that financially stable, uh, I would I would get it because well, I can get it. Doesn't really fucking hurt me. Um, but other than that, I'm not in a position as a young man to just that doesn't have. I don't know. I don't plan on spending my time in a hospital. If you do, then some insurance would help you. I don't own a house. I don't have a family like a wife and kids. If I had a wife and kids, you bet your ass I'm insured because it's not just me I'm worried about. I'm worried about how everyone else is being taken care of. So that's the time I would say go for it and get some insurance. But unless like in your situation comes with it, insurance is nice. It's just it's expensive and they can rip you the fuck off. They
Yeah,
really can.
yeah.
Um,
You don't I mean, like, in my position, I don't have options on who I can take this with. I get I get sent an email and I fill out a form given by the company that my company decides to work with, and whatever they tell me I should be paying from, like, dependents in my family and prior health conditions, like, I I either have to pay that or I have to go through things like Obamacare or, like, the ACA or Medicare
hmm
or Medicaid, not Medicare.
right, same thing.
Which, like,
No, but
you're not gonna get the same fucking service. Like, I get some of my glasses covered, my contacts covered for, like, the year. I
right.
get, 6-month fucking dental checkups or whatever, and they're completely covered.
Those
As
are,
well as
yeah,
the other good thing about having an insurance like this is that you can have an HSA, which is basically like a almost the same thing as a retirement account where you can put money in untaxed. Like you're not taking it out of what you've already been taxed by the government in your paycheck. It's before that. You put money in, it sits in your HSA, which is just an account for pharmaceutical needs or surgery or medical needs. And when you have to use that money, it's also not taxed. It's not taxed.
right.
So you it's free money that you don't have to get ripped by the fucking government, which I need to take advantage more of, but like I'm fucking lazy and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes
you can take
I've
advantage of
realized
it, but
everybody should. I mean, like, it's the difference between, like, setting something up and paying less or paying more from just not setting it up.
yeah,
It
I mean,
it's stupid how complacent I am and like, "Oh, something costs this much, like, whatever." Like, it can cost less if I just fucking, like, do it.
I give
If
a
I just,
fuck.
like yeah, if I just put,
Right.
like,
The
initiative.
the only thing, so here's the catch in all this. I get prescribed Adderall and I have an antidepressant I'm prescribed to, Prozac, and I have to come there and pay a visit every
Every
month.
3 months.
Every month in the state. So when I was living out in Washington State, I could go and I only had to visit there once when I was there because I wasn't using my script as much, and I just was able to go 3 months. That's how it used to be in Michigan. Now, and with this specific facility I'm using, and based on the laws that I've heard, I can only get this prescription if I visit there once a month, and I have to get drug tested every couple months to make sure I'm taking it. So without insurance, I have to spend over $100 per visit when it's normally $30 with insurance. This place is already ripping you off by having you come in there and say, "Hey, I'd like my Adderall." It's fucking insane. And so I hate it. I wish it would change, but that's where the real problem comes. It's like, fuck, unless you're covered on insurance, they will just. So it's not even getting the pills that's the problem, which I thought might be. No, those aren't that expensive. It's the goddamn visit. I have to visit there 12 months out of the year, all 12, just to say, "Hey, I would like my prescription. Hey, I'd like my prescription." You wait there for an hour, and then they just charge you an exorbitant amount of money. I don't know how they get away with that, but hey, it's a reason to get fucking insurance, so it costs $30. You know,
It I think a discrepancy I mean, obviously, that's a state by state basis because
it is, yeah.
I get I don't have to get antidepressants,
So the antidepressants
but
isn't the problem. It's the
it's the
fact that
Adderall, it's
the Adderall, yeah.
it's because it's a controlled substance from the
Correct.
FD like, yeah, from the
So they can
federal
regulate it
government.
state by state.
I mean, I only have to go every 3 months. I get, like, my doctor basically sends, like, a 3-month script to
Right.
the pharmacy, and they're
That's what I was
l
getting.
I called him on the 18th, and I'm like, "Hey, I need a refill on the 20th. Can you just make sure it's done?" And then
Yeah,
they
all
don't
you
have to
that's
contact my doctor and shit, but
right.
I pay a lot for that. I pay, like, in the range of $60 for what I get,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah. I mean, it's not
maybe $60, maybe less, probably less.
it's
I
probably
was shocked. I was shocked last time I got it because but I think that if and this is just my assumption, I have no clue, I have not looked at it, but say you have a disease like malaria or an infection like malaria, like what Martin Shkreli got or put, shit on, I doubt it is that much through insurance providers, especially Medicaid.
right.
I'm looking it up.
They're looking to make a profit, you know? So anytime that's happening, uh, you can definitely assume
But they
they're going to
they
cut some
like,
corners.
it's the fact that the government will pay whatever, which is why we're in such great financial debt as a
No,
government,
we just love
and
printing that shit.
the insurance provider can request whatever they fucking want.
Yeah.
Okay, Medicaid programs typically pay around $35,500 per Daraprim prescription, which is what Martin Shkreli fucking increased. How much does the person pay? Is my question. You can get it generic. You can get it fucking $0.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Daraprim from GoodRx, which I've used before to
Yeah.
get Adderall.
I need to start using that. I've used it once, but it needs to be instead of going through fucking Walgreens or whatever.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you should always try to show them it to you. I've had pharmacy people like I show them the GoodRx and they're like, I actually might have something that's better than that, and then they try to save me money, and I'm like,
Okay.
you're a good person at heart.
Thanks for having a heart.
I need my amphetamines. I'll pay whatever. I've paid insurance. I've paid $450 for a 30-day prescription of Vyvanse before. And when my uh, psychologist called me and was like, "Hey, we got approval through the scripts before we got the
What happened?
called like a they do like a pre-vet. It's a pre something, but they basically have to like check with the federal government if you can be allowed to be on a classified drug
Right.
based on how many other people are on it or something.
And
I
that's
don't
also
know.
why this whole shortage thing came about. Because in my state now, it's been up and down, but basically there's just been these Adderall. Like, what the fuck? Whereas when I was in Washington, I mean, I wasn't getting it every month. I don't think there was any shortages out there. Here in Michigan, there's weeks where you just can't get your medicine. All of a sudden, a couple of years ago, they just decided shortage on it. What the fuck? What happened there? Too many you let too many people get their Adderall, you know? What you gave away too many scripts to people, and now what? We're not allowed to have. I just it blows my mind that what we can't get the Adderall really.
I mean, you can. I have had zero problems getting it.
Right.
And
So that's what I'm
and-
saying. State
and-
by state, if let's say your state, and this goes for all medication, because I mean everyone is on something. It seems like, because that's the way that this country is run on. And if you're not sick, we need you to take a pill. Not to say that there isn't a lot of good pharmaceutical drugs out there that have benefits, but for the most part, it's purely based on money. We cannot have this business thrive without being sick in the first place. And I'm built into the system. That's why it's such an effective mechanism. If you just cured everyone, then the business is dead. And so you do have to release some good things. People live a better and healthier life. For the most part, it seems like everyone just is. You can find something wrong in anyone. And I think a lot of doctors and a lot of these people that prescribe the pills now are bought out, brainwashed, put into a position where they're not really thinking about what's best for you. Instead of saying, like, no, I think there's a better method to this. There's an alternative route. You don't need to be taking this or that. You should be, or, maybe offering an alternative, but still, now it's just, let's push this medication on you. Because it benefits them.
yeah.
And so you become disloyal as, like, that whole profession. Doctors, they're saving lives, and they are, and they're also, it's just a crooked thing.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's not the doctors doing it. It's insurance companies, really.
Doctors play a role in it because they have to follow the orders.
I have to piss. I have to piss so bad.
I'm pissing too. Answer. It was 11.
Okay. I'm looking for a specific answer. First off, first question: were you beating off before you could actually like bust a nut?
Oh.
Damn, I'm weird, man.
Or
I was just like, I was blowing blanks for like
No,
the first like
Whoa, no.
when do you think a tariff has a time and place to be used?
when it was like the Dutch East Trading Company and they got something for a raw price and then people bought it like tea for fucking 3 cents a pack and they couldn't change the price to 4 because people legitimately would not buy it anymore. So like
So we're just
they fronted the cost.
it's like a lot of things that we still do, including our whole political system, is just based on things that are several hundred years old that are outdated.
I'm gonna do some
Uh,
looking shop. It's based on importing companies. Tariffs don't get placed on Chinese manufacturers. But when you think about it, China is a government power. The government owns every company, every piece of land. They own every importing company or exporting company. So if someone says like they own it top down, like lateral.
Right.
If you remember from fucking US history,
Yeah, they told us how great China was.
they also like the steel or like the Gilded Age in 1920 was built on people like JP Morgan would own the fucking or whoever, not JP Morgan, but whoever would own like
Rothschild.
the mill. They would own the mill, the smeltery, the railroad, the distributor.
They were the
And
OGs of that shit. Families, the Rothschilds, and there's some other fucking families.
the Carnegies and
Oh yeah, that other one. Two
uh
brains. Rockefellers.
yeah. What Gilded Age families are still Pulitzers, like the Pulitzer Prize? Rockefeller.
What are look up what are the oldest like wealthiest families? No.
That's exactly what I looked up. Hold
Okay.
on. I'm catching a fish. I said what Gilded Age families are still around, which is that time
Similar.
period. That's the time period we're thinking about before the trust busting of like Theodore Roosevelt or whatever
Who
fucking
was
president.
the what look up Rothschilds. Let's see what the fuck they did. Because I don't want to get that wrong. Because I know one of these sick fucks basically controlled the pharmaceutical industry and probably still do.
Straight up. Mm. Oh, Kanye was right, huh?
It was right.
Oh, Kanye got another one in the bank, huh? I knew I spelled that wrong.
Yeah, you spelled it the right way in my mind.
Pharmaceutical.
Earthers.
Okay,
How many more? No.
you know, since like the United Healthcare, the Shkreli, yeah, Martin. This guy's not a bad person.
No.
Since everything got aired out by United Healthcare and that Luigi Mangione, that fucking
Yeah.
like this guy ripping money from United Healthcare and companies like it, it's not a bad thing. Like, yes, if you were in the unfortunate situation where you needed like diabetes medication, hold on. It was like AIDS? I thought it was diabetes. Anti-malaria. Yeah, how many times have you gotten fucking malaria? And how much do you think United Healthcare set a price at malaria medication for? Uh, hold on. Let's look something else up. I don't trust this. I don't trust this at all. But I'll try it. he made it very clear that it was him raising the price was not to take advantage of the people, but take advantage of the insurance companies making so much money. Like, this guy knew what the insurance companies were doing long fucking before Luigi Mangione came and shot that dude. Oh, all right. Well, I would really appreciate it if you didn't include my area code in this.
It's not your area code. You put in a random one.
It auto and set my fucking area.
Dude, you're auto to your fucking fake address.
Hey, just make a note. Put a little sticky note on your fucking computer. Take it out at whatever time this is. But
I'll have my editor get to that.
Fuck yeah, dude.
What are we doing right now?
Martin Shkreli. You know Martin Shkreli, right? The dude that raised the price of the malaria medication. Raised it, and he's said this on many podcasts and when he's been interviewed before, not to fuck over the human being needing the medication. He did it because he knew that insurance would cover this. And since insurance would cover this, they have to pay an exorbitant amount of money. So he raised the price of it. And that doesn't directly affect the insurance premiums of what people have to pay to carry whatever, because who the fuck gets malaria? Not a lot of people. It's a rare circumstance. If you do and you don't have insurance, yeah, it's $27,000 a month to treat. When it's not that, when you have insurance like normal people do, which
that's a whole nother discussion.
I'm gonna dig into that? No, I don't want to dig myself into a hole with my camera on about people not having a job that covers insurance.
Okay, can I ask you a couple questions about insurance? Because as someone that just turned 26, I'm no longer covered underneath my family.
Yeah, I've had my own for a year now. 1 full year of being on my own.
Right on. My buddy worked in insurance for like selling people insurance for 2 years, and he has a house, rents it with Matt. It's just
oh really?
Yeah, and they both work insurance. Alex basically just said unless you can get covered for basically free, it's not worth it. Get insurance at this time.
No, there's sometimes like an intermediate insurance that you can get that covers you for like less than a year if you're transitioning jobs or something and you're worried that something might happen, and it basically covers the same shit as like a company or a corporate's insurances, but you pay more for it because you don't have a global industry backing you up in it. But
right,
it's not unaffordable if you are a reasonable person that has kept a savings and expect.
Got plenty of topics out there.
I'm gonna say something stupid.
Want to have a serious conversation?
What's going on? What do you want to talk about?
What did you think about fucking Trump saying we're gonna own Gaza?
That's the most retarded shit I've ever heard.
I think it's dead facts. I think we will own Gaza.
Yeah, we like to do that in other places. We like to.
What the fuck are we gonna do in there? That's not gonna be an absolute money pit.
Better question
over there.
Better question. Who's gonna stop us?
No one's gonna stop us.
Who the fuck is gonna stop us from Iraq?
Did you see that what's his name? Netanyahu or whatever the fuck?
I don't know which one.
Who is
the leader of Gaza?
Of Iraq?
Of which? Yeah, of who?
Fucking
Israel?
No.
The Gaza.
I keep killing them, so I don't know.
No, he was literally standing next to Trump, and
I tried to look up Netanyahu, and it brought up like Yahoo the chocolate milk.
Okay, kid, what's his fucking name? I don't know why you're not speaking.
You got it right. I recognize the name, but
that's Israel's leader.
Okay.
I'm
still learning, but I don't know where.
Are you gonna talk about Netanyahu giving Trump the fucking pager?
No, I was just referencing to the video where like Trump.
Didn't everyone who got that pager
We're
die?
gonna own Gaza. We're gonna own it well. And the guy's looking over at Trump like, what?
Oh, I didn't watch it.
He's looking at him like, that's a good bitch.
Yeah, that is.
He was
that's
like,
he was like, "You're gonna do
saying this
what
right now?" Because originally
Yeah,
he was just
because
coming over there to help, and he didn't expect him to be like, "We're gonna take it over. We're gonna own
because
it.
that means it
We're
can't
gonna
be.
do it really well."
Funny thing,
Israel's.
almost all the bombs in the aircraft that are being used by Israel over there are
Ours.
To be fair, the
Yes,
Gulf
we-
of Mexico is stupid, bro. It should be the Gulf of America.
But no, you know why? You know
I
why
think
that's a
we should
clutch
get-
move?
We gotta get rid of Mexico.
Because all the fucking shit written in by Biden was about the Gulf of Mexico. So if he does change it, all that stuff is void. And there's no
That's-
laws.
Okay, I don't like anything Biden did because it wasn't Biden that did it. It was fucking somebody I
I don't
didn't.
Right?
like-
Who the fuck did it?
Yeah,
It was somebody I didn't vote
someone
for.
in the
Fucking
swamp,
a
dude.
lot of people said that his senior advisors were pretty much running the country.
Oh,
Well, they were
Oh,
the
dude,
ones
I'm
giving
losing
direct
this
orders,
game.
but you gotta
Could
understand
you-
that.
People,
wait,
people very
wait.
close to him.
was that Moon or Kid? Could you not tell that that was the case like the whole time?
No, I mean,
I don't think.
we knew, but I mean, like people close also, like, I mean, most Democrats aren't going to say it, but people close to him have come out and pretty much said, yes,
I don't.
he can generate thoughts for himself.
I don't think there was a single person that would have said, yes, Joe Biden single-handedly made a single decision in the past 4 years. I don't think anybody would agree to that statement. Like it
They're not going to deny it, though.
I think
Kamala
that there
never
was
denied
enough.
it. None of the Democrats, Barack Obama, Clintons, anybody that's been on TV,
still think there's-
nobody ever talked about it. Or
I don't
anything
think.
like that.
I don't think Kamala made any decisions either.
No,
It's
she didn't.
it's people that tell her what.
Where is she now?
to
Is my
do,
question.
what
Is
to
she
do.
dead somewhere in a ditch?
Dude,
Right, haven't heard
Like,
anything about her in a long
they
time.
put her in a
She
recycling
got
bin.
up her blood or something. Is she like toast?
Oh, she's
You'll
on
see her in 4
OnlyFans
years.
now. Okay,
You'll see her in 4 years. She will be another running,
she will run.
and they're gonna do a better PR claim besides like
Yeah,
the bullshit.
I'm
that
black.
happened. Yeah,
Right.
Oh,
dude. But
her sitting next to her VP and being like, yeah, what he says, and him like correcting her and stopping her from saying stuff is like so bad.
she
they'll
did
just do
not
a better
know
job of
how
that.
to speak well. I was not convinced with anything about
I
her.
came from a
It's-
black home where you see cornbread and peas every day.
I
Nobody
want
knows
these
how to do that,
trans
bro.
people in these
Nobody knows
prisons
how to
to
run
have
the
the ability to do a sex change.
She was like, I worked at McDonald's. Never has worked at
Never
McDonald's.
worked at
I worked at
McDonald's. Trump
McDonald's.
goes to a
My
McDonald's.
great grandmother, this, that,
It's like, and then they look at her history, like, wait a minute.
So I do think that there was a nice shift over the course of the past, 4 years. People were fed up, and this was like one of the first few genuine elections. I feel like, say what you want about Trump, but I do think he's evolved as a politician. No, is he my first fucking pick? Did I vote? No, but at the end of the day, I'll take something other than what Biden was limping around doing. I mean, we literally put a man in charge of the United States that is just
He wasn't limping too much. I think he was falling, stumbling.
limping was being nice, dude. I was also gonna start to say that he was actually like not there anymore.
Wait, what do you call this when you walk on the beach and you're like,
There's literally a video of him forgetting like where the entrance to the White House is. The agents and shit were just the Secret Service just looking at him like, "Fuck is this
what,
nigga going?"
what about the summit meeting with a bunch of European powers and then he just like started walking away randomly? Everybody's like posing.
Dude, oh my
pictures and
God.
he's like just
They're like,
looks to
"Oh,
the
go
side
get
and
him."
just wanders off.
But the fact,
Imagine I'm telling you guys something. I'm just like,
yeah, you just like
I think it's time to go.
in the middle of a sentence, you just look over like someone just fucking rang the doorbell.
Listen, when I say his senior advisors are running shit, like dead ass, literally the senior advisors were running shit, and
Oh yeah.
like I've seen a couple interviews of people who's like they don't hate Biden at all, but like he was not there, like he can formulate.
Did you ever see a video of him sleeping? He's at this meeting with all these major world leaders, and they have this video of him.
Listen, man, he's getting old, bro.
All he has to take naps. Look,
He's
his
getting old.
wife dragged him around and made him like keep running for.
We could have had
president.
Bernie Sanders. Nobody voted
I
for
don't
Bernie
want
Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Dude,
Have
This
you heard-
tracks all the way back to us not electing Bernie Sanders over what? Who was it?
Bernie Sanders.
I'm
now
just
has come up with
saying,
a lot
I'm
of
just saying,
things
I
that
mean,
are
like,
very like anti.
Let me put it like this:
We-
our whole political system is kind of, I don't know. I mean, who knows what would happen if Bernie Sanders was elected
I
president?
don't want that old fart in there. He's got a lot of good ideas, but he is behind the times, dude. He's
Do
on
we
that-
really want any old farts in there? Trump is an old fart at this.
No,
fucking
no,
point.
that old fart. I didn't say any old fart. Trump can dance. You ever seen him?
No, what I'm saying, we don't need old
Yeah.
farts in the office anymore.
We need like we
That's
need a
facts.
JFK
We
that
need
has
a
to get shot
JFK.
by the government to like stop what he actually wants to happen.
Do you know who
I do agree.
I
think
like Vance
Trump.
a lot.
think Trump-
though. I do. Have you heard his interviews? He's actually a pretty relatable guy. and I think he has like good interest. Like, and he's young enough. I'm like, I could.
Who you talking about?
Katie Vance.
Katie,
I
Did
just
you
watched
Is
him.
he Jewish?
no.
No.
Buddha? Did you watch VP's debate? Like
I didn't
right
like
before the
that
primary?
from either side. Yeah.
I actually I love that because it was the first debate, and like I couldn't vote before 2018, but that was the first debate I'd ever seen. One without Donald Trump, and two with two people that genuinely respect each other as human beings.
Oh yeah, you weren't
So,
seeing like a fucking shit show on there with
no,
a normal
but
debate.
They're eating the cats,
I've seen the
the
clips of,
dogs.
or whatever
Don't
Donald
fact
Trump
check
did
me.
that when Donald Trump talked to Hillary and he's like, "You're a fucking felon." The entire election of 2016, which I
They're
I was
eating the
probably
cats
before and I
and
did
the
watch,
dogs.
but
Don't fact check me, please.
I see that
Democrats
compared
are
to
idiots.
older videos of like presidential candidates like talking to each other and they're genuine and
Times were
compassionate.
different. They were respectful.
It was also a
They
show
were
back
respectful.
then.
Times were
Yeah.
different.
We've also just had Donald Trump for like what 15 years in a row, like put in our face
Let me just put this in
because he lost one
perspective.
election.
I think that the times before we were born, the political system in itself was something that was respected and like admired, and it was kind of more well put together, and it drew people to divide more and more as each term went on. It was something that people genuinely believed in, and even though it was a shit show, it was orchestrated to where it seemed real, it seemed professional. And then there was that shift after Obama where they're like, we're going to just tell you right now, we can put anyone in here. We can have Donald Trump from The Apprentice, and we can have some dude that has Alzheimer's run the country.
Anything is possible.
And so they told you, instead of them hiding it behind the curtain where it was just believable enough, and you still knew politics were kind of bullshit, then they just put it out there like, all right, now it's it's like a show that just really like lost its script writers, and it just...
We're all super rich. We don't give a fuck anymore. Nothing they can do. There's nothing the public can do anymore. Just think about it. Think about Israel. Like the approval rate on what's going on in Israel is like 0%. Like it's got to be less than 20. People don't want that.
My only side of that is that we have no clue what's happening in Israel. If you look at the power of Israel and the power of the United States government, we see what they give us to fucking see, and it's. I think
perspective is not the actual overall perspective.
I've seen quite a bit.
They're killing our reporters as they go in. Like we can't see.
Just put like you have the prisoners that are being released. You have doctors that are there. You have aid that are also there. You have the media that have snuck in. You know, I've seen quite a bit. You have people's accounts that are there. You have all this footage that's
have
going
that
around.
footage, but we don't have the full picture in a lot of these situations. You have to do like some diligent research into other countries to understand. Like if you looked up what Russia is saying about what's going on in Ukraine, I mean, if you looked up what's going on with TikTok and you're just on China websites, and then if it's the same thing here, we think that we're just getting like, yeah, obviously all of us realize that the media is just a bunch of, a lot of bullshit.
Fed capitalist advertised. It's whoever has the most amount of money. Yeah, it's whoever has the most amount of money can advertise what they view as the right point. But I think that American media has such a deeper root in all these other countries because we are the only ones to have access to free internet. So, like, what we can put out, like anything that you think or that is objectionably free is denoted as like extremist because everything possible for us to access is sensitized to some degree, minus like Twitter. But then
that was the first big step.
Right wings, you have right wings just flooding it, and then left wings don't post on it because it's all.
It's like it's not for them.
It naturally like skews itself away from each other, so we can't have one platform
can't have
to do it all.
that fine balance where it's a place for both. And honestly, we need people to just be able to, if you want to go find your lane on a left site or a right site or an in-between site, go there. And that's what the internet has done. You can find all these different medians. You can find...
I'm going to go to my triangle site. Like, that whole concept sounds retarded, right, left, all that shit, and I hate it. It sounds stupid.
No, but
getting
right? Back to the internet thing. And, like, the freedom.
All right, back to the internet.
Thinking about the idea that, like, we expect privacy on something that was created by the government. Like, this whole thing of internet privacy, yes, it is a thing, and it is... But did we really expect it to be a place of privacy when the government gave it to us? We can't assume that. So now we're just in this phase of everyone is reliant on it. Everything is being recorded and monitored, and it's sold for a profit in the name of advertising, whatever have you. And we've come to a place where we're not even, I don't know, we're so good at just like adapting and accepting things to a point where we just became fucked. Next thing is AI, right? What are you guys' takes on this? How soon till we get an AI president? How soon until AI is taking over a majority of jobs? How soon till we get that fucking chip bait? You know, is it a big threat?
They give it 10 years. They give it 10 years
10 years for what?
until it starts taking jobs.
Okay, what do you guys think?
I think the most interesting thing to me in this conversation is the fact that DeepSeek AI from China, which is like the Chat GPT OpenAI equivalent, dropped NVIDIA's value on the stock market by like a half or whatever the fuck, 500 million. I don't know, a lot of money. It just like deleted
I saw
from
that
our stock.
the first day. Like it just killed us because of the amount of money that they supposedly spent on it. I don't know if that's true. They're lying, but go on.
It's because of it's because you can take that AI platform and like put it onto individual devices that don't need an internet connection. I think is like the appeal of it.
It's
So,
also
like,
open source too, which
right.
is odd for China to
And-
just
And
put it out there.
ChatGPT's like API you can have. I'm getting raped in my ears right now. I'm not playing another CS game. But there's something I think that's gonna happen that's interesting with graphics cards and the fact that NVIDIA they got their stock got plummeted right after they just released the 50 series of AI generated cards that are, you know, a quarter or one third of the price of the 40 series cards,
Yeah,
but perform the same because they use AI to generate like the in between frames, you know, like they're not using hard sourced hardware to like generate the raw power needed to calculate things. So like I was gonna sell my 1070 Ti. I'm not gonna sell it anymore.
no,
There's I'm getting lowballed like fucking crazy
bet,
on
dude.
Facebook by female accounts of like Latina and Filipino women. I'm like, you're a bot. They're asking me like $90. I'm like, no.
right.
After
What the
because
fuck?
if the whole graphics card market goes towards this and instead of like making raw powered graphics cards, then raw powered graphics cards are gonna increase in value.
Well, and NVIDIA wants that. So this is where the market's headed. It's probably not going to change, to be honest with you. It's probably going to head in that direction. NVIDIA is heavily sold on developing AI. They want to be the forefront in that because they see the huge potential and all of everything that they do skyrocketing because they know that we can dump a bunch of money into this, and this is where the world's going. We need, here's my thing on the AI. We need a AI that is capable of controlling mass populations faster than what China. So the whole goal is to get ahead of China. If China ends up having these AI systems that can control everything, and they develop the fastest, the best, the greatest thing, they develop super intelligence before us. No, we can't have that. We need to do that. So now we're working as hard as we can and dumping a bunch of fucking money because we cannot let another country develop this before us. And it's just for the same thing. It's just for control.
The thing is that the United States has to follow EPA laws and the agreements of other nations between ourselves about like consumption of water, consumption of energy, consumption of
We'll come to new terms for the AI. And we might develop it so rapidly that it's kind of like this beast that just exploded in like, holy fuck. I mean, we're willing to test these fucking nukes. I think we'll press that button on that super intelligence and see what that fucker does.
Okay, to take one step into this level of thought, my career right now involves the cooling of facilities
Okay.
that necessitate AI and the data platforms and the storage for these things, these giant companies that are building this. Um, they need giant facilities, like hundreds of acres, tons and tons of computers that they have to like cool the whole building, right? So we have a whole new. I don't want to talk about it. I might get fired if I talk about it.
No, just be as brief.
There's a market opening for data centers, right? So like data centers are a big thing happening in the HVAC market,
Mhm.
and every company that does HVAC is moving towards
computerized storage, so they want these backup centers because it's
well,
all like computerized for these HVAC
here's
systems.
what's interesting is that they're appealing to the market of data centers, and data centers have a geographic location that they can really be in, which is somewhere with a lot of power and a lot of water, because you need both to run a data center. You need a ton of power that doesn't go down, because if your data center goes down, then you can't access links on Google, which is a nightmare, or like life threatening for some applications.
Mm-hmm. A
If you
whole
don't have
company
water,
can be ruined by that,
ru-
just like a
it,
natural resource.
if you don't have water, you can't cool the machines that
Yeah.
allow you to access that. So like those are the two things you absolutely need, and they're dropping so much money on this. So I'm gonna speak about it.
Better. Are there any last words, dude?
My company was a little behind in this curve, and
Okay.
we had customers, giant tech companies, like the ones you know of, the ones you say probably a couple times a week,
The big
reaching
three, big five.
yeah, big like 7, reaching out to us, and they're like, "Hey, we want to buy this. Do you have it?" And we're like, "We haven't even planned to develop that." And that was a couple months ago, and now we're like fast track developing what we need to accommodate data centers. Indiana has had 50 fucking $1 million put into it because Indiana has some like lax tax laws against like companies building these. So I'm spending half my time on LinkedIn looking at pictures of our competitors and their job sites, and I'm finding them and sending like Google address coordinates to some dude in my company. And I'm like, yo, blah blah blah's data center, like fucking La Puente, fucking Indiana. Here you go. I'm circling water towers in the background and like drawing out the back, like the shadow of fucking elevation mountains. I'm like, these are the same trees. It's getting that serious, but
And I think that whole thing is fucking crazy, though. That, like, you just went in that, like, a little bit in depth into just that aspect of those jobs, dude.
there's something to think about, especially because Trump's tariff on steel, which all of these
Yes.
cooling,
What are
all of
these?
these cooling all of these cooling manufacturing tower, like giant building facility cooling towers, are made of steel,
Right.
and then Trump puts the tariff on them.
Mm-hmm.
And before it can be enacted, my company makes a lot of money in like 1 week, like more than we've made in like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months combined. We make in 1 week because of Trump's tariff tax.
Oh man, fuck Trump now, dude. You know, right? No, I'm kidding, but that's like what people they'll say, like should have voted Kamala. Like,
We don't. I mean, I don't know that because I don't know who's paying the money. I don't know if it's us. It could be the customer, which is like, the big five. Good. I hope the big five pays the money. I hope, because that just gives us more money. We get to raise the cap price of these products. And
right? It all depends where the money's coming from, but it seems like, we always wonder where this huge national debt comes from. Like, how are we that fucking much in debt? And you can just go through and find all of these articles showing you what we're spending on and what we're getting from that. So they spent like $40 billion on just these chargers for pumps, like for electric cars. They've only put out 8 of them, and this was like 2 years ago. $40 billion, and you've put out 8 chargers. Shit like that we just constantly do. We're constantly sending money over to, like, we spent like $250 million on like a produce for Afghanistan. And they're probably just making like fucking opium over there. Shit like that.
They do make some crazy drugs over there.
So it's like quickly you figure out, okay, we simply just do not care. Yep.
Increases the price to pay for the tariff, which therefore increases the price for the United States citizen or the United States. I mean, that